So what is the apocalypse? We are now living through the end times. This is no surprise to everyone, especially if you are spiritual, if you are into religion. You truly know that this period is really what has been prophesied by the Bible, by the Quran, in Islam, and the Jews, I believe, the Jewish religion. Anyway, what is the apocalypse? People need to understand, and I believe what I'm trying to do with this video is to convey a message. It might not resonate with everyone. If the idea of God, spirituality doesn't resonate with you, I suggest that you leave this video right now, because this is not meant for you. If otherwise, you might feel stressful or curious about what's going to happen, I hope that this video will truly help you into understanding what we are going through right now and what humanity is actually going through. So the apocalypse comes from the word apocalypticus, which means the destruction of the world. We hear right now there are many wars. There's conflict in Israel with Palestine. We have a conflict in Taiwan. We have major conflict between Ukraine and Russia, with the whole West being truly against Ukraine. Sorry about that, but this is truly what it is. It is truly NATO against Ukraine. Putin was right in that sense. But rest assured, as it was told and prophesied in the Bible, this is not truly the end. As we can read effectively in Matthew chapter 24, verse 6 to 7, you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. For nations shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. So obviously, over the last decade, the number of earthquakes has increased. We have had in 2020 this massive cloud of locusts that completely decimated regions in the sub-Saharan desert in Africa, who caused major famines. And we are, of course, the wars that are and conflicts that are erupting everywhere. But when Jesus taught to humanity, when he came onto this planet, he explained that this was not the end yet. And let me explain. From the Greek verses, we can see that the root of the apocalypse is actually the lifting of the veil. So humanity is actually coming towards the end of the illusion. That is the illusion of separation. There is actually currently a split between what we call in a new age in spirituality between the 3D and the 5D or Christ consciousness. The 3D is a place where there is war, control, suffering, famine. People are actually a lot into the ego. They are very centered around themselves, and they do not believe that there is anything that could exist outside of themselves. Whereas in the 5D, if you operate from a 5D consciousness or Christ consciousness, you operate from the heart, from a place of love, abundance, peace, and oneness. And that's how you are truly in tune with the universe. We are all one. We are not separated from one another, both spiritually and also physically. And as Neville Goddard says, which is Neville Goddard is actually a great teacher, spiritual teacher throughout the 50s and the 60s especially, who sparked also, I believe, the roots of the new age of spirituality, but he was also Christian, and he had great interpretation of the Bible, and a lot of his teaching that he was actually explaining to a lot of people when he was preaching to a lot of people actually resonate to my life experience, but also how I interpret and how I read the Bible. Everyone is yourself pushed out. So everyone that you see around, physical reality is actually a giant mirror. And the experiences that you attract in your reality, in your world, are a reflection of your inner state. So what we see, a lot of people are actually tuned into this, and I spent some great time researching and also asking around and trying to put my story out. And how I awaken right now is the split between the 3D and the 5D is very real, and this is why there's a lot of chaos right now. But rest assured, do not be alarmed, do not be stressed. This must come to pass. We are simply clearing out all the old energy and everything that doesn't serve us as a collective consciousness to help elevate humanity and come back to Christ consciousness, to see the oneness of everything, the unity of each and every one of us. And so, just to emphasize on what reality is and how it is actually an illusion, let me explain with a concrete example and try to explain in the simplest term and as best as I can to my abilities what we are experiencing and going through, and why we are seeing so many people telling, oh, the end is going to come at this day, at this date, or if you are into spirituality, you might have heard of the Great Solar Flash, and some people have prophesied that it's coming in September 2024. Other people said, oh, it was coming in 2023. All of these people are actually right. It's just that for each and every one of us, we have a different timeline. That's what Jesus said when Jesus came down to earth, that he even didn't know when this time was coming for someone or for somebody, but only God knew, because God is everything. So time is an illusion, and you actually project and create your own reality from your own consciousness. Time is an illusion because everything exists. Try to picture reality and that illusion of continuity and movement as still frame, just like you would do with a movie film, like a cinematographic film. So we actually are shifting through billions of still frames, billions of time per second, giving us the illusion of movement. And right now we only have so much limitation coming down to this dimension in third density, because we can only experience time in a linear way, even though it is an illusion. So we believe, or humanity believes, that the past exists and the future exists. Actually, there is only the now, the present moment. The past doesn't exist, and the future is unknown. So I'm going to try to picture this way. Imagine you have three people, this red character, the blue one, and the green one. They all live and exist in this moment, in this frame, in their own reality. This represents the entire universe. You are literally the universe, and we are coexisting within another, like some bubbles coming between each other. Science has actually started proving that theory, although it is very hard to prove and to accept, but this is actually true. So the red character, let's say that he is living on 5D consciousness, and so in his reality, actually nothing truly happens. The blue character is on a different timeline, and he might encounter some events, and he has the ability to shift between the timelines with the red character, the green character, or stay onto his own line. And the green character, let's say that he is on 3D consciousness, still in 3D, and remember, as we said previously, 3D is coming to an end, where great events and war and suffering are going to break out. More on that later. If you want to learn more about my story and how I awakened, I have this video linked right here where I explain my story. Again, these events are mine, they are my own experience. I'm not trying to push out down on you, but everything that I tell in this video is true. Okay, so this little guy right here can actually shift, and we do that all the time, can actually shift between reality, between different streams of consciousness. So the little green guy is actually shifting and merging with the timeline of the blue guy. So within the same timeline, they might interact within each other. However, at some point, for some reason, whatever reason, the green guy shifts again within his timeline. Notice how in these still frames, I didn't remove the guy entirely. I'm just representing the green guy as the awareness behind the body. So if the body shifts to a different timeline, his body, his shell, will still exist in that timeline, in these universes. But the awareness behind that body has actually moved to a different timeline. And that's why I've seen also on social media some people calling, quantum jumping, shifting timelines. These people are also actually telling the truth. And they might encounter some events, like life-ending events, that all of these guys, the red guy and the blue guy, know nothing about, because they cannot perceive it. So to continue on this, right now, at this crucial moment, and this is why your soul came to evolve at this right exact moment, great moment, is because the 3D Earth and the 5D Earth are coexisting in this instant. Like right now, you see a lot of people suffering in the Middle East, in Taiwan, in Ukraine, with war. Everyone is afraid, panics, there's chaos, there's suffering. And at the same time, you see a lot of people living their best lives as possible. Like you see all of those celebrities absolutely living it, living in abundance, and they couldn't care less about what is happening across the world and with the suffering. So heaven and hell exist on this earth simultaneously. While it is true, heaven does exist above us, in the sky. We often represent heaven in the sky, and it is also told like this as a Bible. Again, this is also another metaphor to actually explain what reality is, what our experience is. We just have forgotten, when coming down to this third density, who we are. We are God experiencing itself. Nothing exists outside of it. It might sound absolutely difficult to grasp or crazy, but this is it. Outside of God, there's nothing. God doesn't know the unknown, because for something to be known, it has to exist, but something doesn't exist, cannot be defined. These little guys have the power to shift in between realities, but you might still see the body behind them. We could still be interacting with one another, but the actual awareness behind that body might be completely gone, and you have no idea it's happening. So I just want to open a parenthesis. This is how I work. In my timeline, in my reality, the great solar flash happened around February 2023. I remember actually dying, death is only an illusion, dying 31 times. And in that video about This Is My Story, I just explained how I came to the realization that time is an illusion, we are all one, and the apocalypse actually broke out. Like humanity actually decided to, I would say, self-destruct and create suffering from themselves, but it was just the different timeline, the end, of the split between the 3D and the 5D. And for me, God was showing me and telling me and sending me messages, synchronicities. I was seeing repeating numbers. Numbers are not demonic. This is literally how spirits communicate with you. They are trying to guide you and show you the path. And a lot of people are actually misinterpreting the messages because they are trying to understand and make sense of it from their conscious mind. But you truly have to understand from your unconscious mind or from your spiritual side. A lot of the messages that I believe in the Bible are unfortunately misinterpreted. And so this is also what humanity has kind of figured out. I read about the book called the Toltec Accords. I highly recommend also reading that if you want to expand your spirituality and trying to understand. But the earth is conscious. The earth also communicates with us through many means. The earth has thoughts, and you can listen to actually what the earth is saying and telling to you. It's as if humanity has grown to be like a parasite, and unfortunately with our overconsumption destroying a lot of the planet that we live on, the earth was actually sort of going through that tumultuous period and trying to, I would say, sort of like getting rid of us in a sense that it wasn't sustainable. Like it's either the earth dies or we die, because unfortunately we do not live in harmony with the universe. This is once again what was mentioned in the Bible. I'm gonna just quote the verse in the video. We were meant to be the guardians of the planet. We were meant to actually take care of the planet, not overconsume. Like we multiply and we are being numerous for so much time, but unfortunately our way of living is not sustainable. And so that 3D earth is gonna simply get rid of us, just simply like our bodies is fighting against a virus, and it's going to heal itself. Like the earth is going to be able to heal itself, and we'll be able to then sustain life for another species through the test of time. And so in this universe, in this multiverse, that existence in the third density that we call reality, you actually manifest and attract your own experiences. Everything, absolutely everything that has happened in your life happens for a reason. This is all part of a greater plan for your soul to be able to evolve. So every suffering, experiences, trauma that you call that you might be dragging on, it actually happened for a reason and to teach you something on the greater plan. This is not about your smaller life, your ego, your human ego, about your experiences that you might have had. This is all for a greater plan, that your higher mind, your unconscious mind, God, who you are actually, wanted to come experience as a human being. In the higher dimensions, we're actually living in the third density, but there are actually 12 densities in existence. And in the higher densities, I've been there. I have had some astral projection, and my soul actually traveled, during dreams. When we sleep, actually, we are actually traveling during different realms. This isn't just your brain showing you images of what has happened or what you are imagining around you. No, sometimes this is also actually your soul actually traveling between different realms and having different experiences there. So in the higher densities, I can tell you from experience, things are much less dense. They are much easier. For example, I remember that dream that whatever you think actually manifests instantly. This is why it is also important to have control over your mind. And right now, our universe, the life that humans has created, there's a lot of distractions that actually robs you from your power. And this is what Socrates, a lot of ancient Greek philosophers noticed about, is that the world tries to distract you and get your attention. But by doing this, it actually robs you of your power, because you need focus, you need attention to actually manifest the life of your dreams. So this is where also, as a parenthesis, repentance comes from. Repentance is actually a change of mind, a change of perspective. There are many things and many perspectives that you can see in life, and repentance is one of them. But I'm not going to digress anymore on this. Let's focus back on the multiverse theory. So the multiverse theory is actually true, and how do you shift between realities? There are some experiences. Why do I get to live through this? You can actually decide to shift and completely, radically change your life at any moment. There is no limitation to this. As it is said in the Bible, nothing is impossible to God. You just have to be open to receive and actually see the magic in the universe. But this is truly what you can actually create. So as Nikola Tesla said, the secret of the universe lies in frequency, energy, and vibration. So to change and to shift reality, you have to actually elevate your frequency. A lot of people, wonders why celebrities, why singers, why sports athletes draw so many fans behind them. Why are they just attracted to them? Not just physically, but they also feel drawn to them. This is because these beings, like your body, is actually a magnetic field. Like, this has been proven. I highly suggest that you watch the work of Joe Dispenza. I'm going to put the reference in the description if you want to see more of his work. But he actually also proved that the human being has an enormous torus field. And this energy that circulates around you all the time circulates through your chakras. During my awakening back in 2023, on February 6th, where I lived and I was awake during the Rapture, during the split between the 3D and the 5D, I felt this wave of energy opening up through my chakras. Unfortunately, through some experiences, when I tried to explain this, and something that I find a little bit sad is because you don't find references or mentions of the chakras in the Bible. When I tried to speak and talk about my experiences and how I could feel energies around the chakras, a lot of people actually projected their fears on me. And so they said it was sorcery, it wasn't real, but I can truly feel, and a lot of people actually can feel the energies through the chakras. So you have at the base, the root chakra. This represents your being, I am. Above this, slightly above this, you have the sacral chakra. This represents the I do, being able to transmute, especially your sexual energy, being able to reproduce. And you have right above that, just above the belly button, the third chakra, which is I feel. And this is where a lot of humanity, unfortunately, is stuck in their solar plexus. Like people who are living in the 3D, generally cannot rise a lot above the solar plexus, rising above the survival mode. Like, they think and believe that the thing that they taught at school, the thing that they see physically is all that there is, and they have a hard time actually rising above their solar plexus. Above that, you have the heart chakra, which is I love, and this is where your spirit is anchored. This is where you live from a place of true love and abundance. This is where you feel your connection as well to God and the spirit world. Above that, you have the throat chakra, which is I speak. So this is how you communicate and you voice your voice, actually. A lot of people on earth generally, and myself included, and I'm working on that, have difficulty expressing themselves in a clear and concise way, and they have also a lot of difficulties actually speaking louder. A lot of people actually do not speak very loud. You often have to ask them to repeat what you just said, because they have a blockage in their throat chakra. Above that, now you have the third eye, which is directly positioned within your brain, deep within your brain, in your pineal gland, and this is your antenna channeling your energy from the universe. Along the way, throughout 2022, 2023, my third eye was very active. I could feel the energy coming directly through my brain, and I was able to actually perceive what was about to happen in my reality, even though my physical senses were denying it. And of course, my outer world, the people who existed in my reality, were telling me I was simply going crazy, even though I was not. And finally, as the seventh chakra, you have the crown chakra, which is directly right on your forehead. And this is where you channel the actual intelligence coming from your higher mind or coming from God directly, coming from the divine into your being. And you have this circle, this torus field on your energy that actually circulates around your body. And when you truly live and open all of your chakras, you actually expand that torus field up to 9 meters. And people will naturally feel drawn to you. Like a magnet, you attract everything. You actually never really chase something. Often when we speak in spirituality, we often mention don't chase, attract. It's because you first have to visualize with using your third eye, and then you truly live from a place of abundance, of openness, and you actually attract all of your experiences and your desires towards you. So when you actually open your chakras, you can go through and experience what we call the Kundalini awakening. And the Kundalini awakening is actually this energy that comes through you like a giant wave who opens up all of your chakras. And this is where we ascend. Right now, once again, humanity is going through the process of ascension as a collective, and you can also see, or you might have seen that you might go through an ascension process, what we call an ascension process, and during that ascension process, you are actually elevating yourself, you are changing so much in frequency that you are actually opening up to everything and all that is in your own universe. A lot of this esoteric knowledge is actually hidden from us. When I came up in 2023 once again, after all the events I went through, I had just one tingling impression feeling. I was like, the heck, like, why no one told me about this? Why did I have to go through and being shown by God the truth of a lot of things that there is the way it did, and never actually learned that at school, you know? So I believe it was some of the passages were removed from the Bible, you know, also unfortunately for purposes of control. And previous humans who lived on earth and tried to have control over people, they realized that unfortunately religion was a great tool to actually control the masses. They actually removed great passages of ancient books and knowledge in the Bible, completely hiding the truth from who you are. And so as a final chapter for this video, final topic, what exactly is repentance? Repentance is simply a change of state of being. It is a change of mind. It is a change of how you perceive things and how you do things. And when you have this change of perspective in your life, and when you change your mind, you change your perspective. And when you change your perspective, you change your frequency. And by frequency, when changing of the frequency, you are actually changing of reality. This is like a TV set, especially older TV set now, but everything essentially, when you have a TV obviously running, you can actually captivate all of those frequencies, and you just shift a canal. Like it's, for example, you have a channel 1 that is, I don't know, on 87.5 megahertz, and you have channel 2 that is on 90 megahertz. This is exactly the same. This is exactly like that. Or you change reality and you change timelines. Everything is happening everywhere, all at once. So you need, if you truly want to see your life change, because a lot of things in life actually function in cycles. There are cycles and lessons that you're going to repeat yourself, no matter where you might live, no matter the people that you have in your life. People are actually teaching more things about yourself. And if you do not change your perspective about how events are unfolding, you're going to repeat this lesson up until you die, until the end of your life. So this is what repentance is truly important, and it is so emphasized in the Bible. This is because you have to change your state of being if you want to see the experiences you have in your life. Yes, it is true, prayer is really important, because this is how you actually manifest and you visualize, you create your ideal reality, the result that you actually desire. But now you have to take the path that is created towards that desire. And all of things in our reality, in this third density, function by cycles. This is something that God made me understand truly about my own lives. If I kept acting in a certain way, I would repeat the same lessons, attract the same type of people, the same type of relationships in my life, up until I actually learned the lesson. It's a little bit like school, like you go over and over the same topics and lessons until you actually pass the test, until you actually progress to the next level. This is something that you might not always notice in your life, but this is actually true. And on a collective level, the same thing is actually true. You know, when I mentioned previously, when people were capable to manifest a certain type of life or reality for themselves, the same thing is true as a collective level. If as a collective level, we believe that some events might happen, this is what we're gonna manifest for ourselves as a collective consciousness. This is also mentioned in the Toltec Accords. The same way that you can manifest a different life for yourself, we can manifest collectively, each and every one of us, a certain reality for everyone to experience, and it's going to affect everyone effectively around us. So this is why it is really important to be mindful on the content you consume, the things that you see. I highly recommend that you cut off the mainstream media. This isn't something conspirationist or whatever. No, this is effectively because unfortunately the media knows that negativity sells, and right now humanity is I would say on mostly, especially in the West, many really cynical and negative, and this is what you can unfortunately attract in your reality. So be mindful about what you actually accept as truth, because once you accept it, there are many things that can happen. Not only you will manifest experiences for yourself, but there are also spirits and energies around you that will make you do or think a certain way. Like this is something that has been discovered recently. That a lot of actually governments, the Vatican, and from ancient knowledge and esoteric knowledge know about, is that you can influence the thoughts around you. You can influence people, what they think. You know that how everything around our universe is energy and frequency. If you put deliberately false information, or I would say how you can inject parasites on your TV and your TV is going to pick up, the same thing can be done with you. So this is why I want you to be really mindful about what you watch, content you consume, and what you believe in. If you've liked this video, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to leave a like down below. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that I helped you on your journey on discovering who you are and expanding your spiritual journey. Stay tuned for more content like this, and I'll see you around.